If perfect world, he wins the Heisman and wins the Natty. That's one thing. I think he's got to be way more upset if he doesn't give his team the best shot at winning the national championship.
And if he gets hurt, knock on wood,
if he gets hurt,
because you decide to keep him in the second half to try to stat pad against.
Freeman might get free, or Denbrock, Freeman, whoever fuck controls it's got to get their ass run out by Twitter, by us, by the ADs, by the boosters. They're gonna get their shit ran through.
Hey, I saw some people say, "Well, Genty did it," but Genty got hurt. Like they did that. He was hurt going into the playoff because they did that shit.
Well, the big thing with it too is Genty did that, but he also did that knowing that he had to play in a conference championship game as well. So I think Genty was fully committed to saying, "Hey, use me the best way you can," because I think Genty understood we could be a group of 5 team that gets a first round bye and it gives me time to get ready, which helped them in the playoffs. But realistically, I think as long as you come out and you just take care of business, if it's the second half, Love only has 2 touchdowns and 110 yards. Don't put him in the game. Please don't. I don't think it's needed. I don't think Stanford wants him in the game. We shouldn't want him in the game because realistically, Jadarian Price can do the same fucking thing as Jeremiah Love most times in those types of games because there's got to be going for the tackles or got to be run the ball a lot. And I don't want to say it, but this is a situation where we could have our Jordan Travis moment. If that were to happen, I knocked on wood, but it is because that's reasonable from the way they've acted before because that's our Jordan Travis is Jeremiah Love. He is the main part of our team. Even though we believe that Jadarian Price is a good running back, he's the second best running back in the class, which is fucking crazy. We have the top 2 running backs in the draft class. But they're still, I think that's what puts us where we are is because we have
Jeremiah Love. I think Jadarian Price is great.
Yeah.
But
he's not Jeremiah Love. Yeah.
Dude, I remember halfway through the season when some people in the group chat were like, Price might be better than Love. And I'm like, you guys got to stop. We got to stop. Because it was the whole, Price had, at the time, was breaking runs and Love was kind of getting stuffed. And I'm like, it's also different because teams sell out when Love is on the field. They still do it when Price is on the field, but there's just a different level. When Love is on the field, defense is keying on him. Price, you can you still have to key in on, but it's just a different level. It's kind of like when you're saying you're comparing Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate, right? But yeah.
Carnell Tate's got to be a first-round draft pick. Jadarian Price could be a third-round draft pick. But, yeah.
Yeah. Let's get to the game this week. Notre Dame at Stanford, the battle for the Legends Trophy. Notre Dame, according to our friends over at Novig, is a 32.5 point favorite. The over-under is set at 51.5. How do we feel about this one? How do we feel about the spread? You're our resident bettor and the over-under. Are you touching any of those?
Touching the over. I think if you can get over at 49.5, I take it. Because then you're looking at, when I usually do over-under, I look at what are both teams able scoring. I think Notre Dame can easily score 40 points. I could see Stanford scoring 10 points in this game. So if you get at 49.5, that's fine. Spread, I don't touch spreads that are that high. I don't. I touched the spread that was that high. Well, I should have touched it last week. It would have fucking covered in the first half. Should have touched that minus 55.5. I made that joke. I said I was going to fucking do it. I didn't do it. Another time I make a joke about taking a bet, I don't do it. It hits. I would think over 40. If you can get, if it's got to go down probably Friday night. They usually go down a point in these situations. If you can get at 49.5 at maybe around the minus 150 line, then that's good. Minus 32.5. And maybe if you want to alt it at minus 27.5. I don't know what actually I can just do it right now. I can figure out what it is at the alt spread at minus 27.5. It's going to depend on what type of game we're going to see on Notre Dame. If we see a game like we saw against Navy, we're going to cover this easily. But if we see a game like Boston College where we come out slow and we have to take it at the end, it could not hit. In the Boston College situation, it did not hit. So minus 27.5. You get minus 27.5 at 203. That's not terrible. If you want to maybe alt that, like right now, if you get 47.5 with minus 27.5, you get basically an even line. You get minus 115. That's not a terrible bet to make.
Yeah.
You're playing the most likely number there because you're most likely you're going to score 7 or 3 points. So you're just doing odds and ends on that, and then us winning by 4 touchdowns. That's what you're doing.
Yeah. So for this game, obviously it's a rivalry game. I don't know how much level of necessarily disdain there is between the two, not just recently because Stanford has been so terrible for such a for the last few years. It feels like. Um, do we feel like there's any opportunity? Obviously, this is a better Stanford team than we played last year. Any opportunity for this game to be somewhat of a struggle for Notre Dame on the road in Palo Alto at a 10:30 p.m. Eastern kick? Any opportunity that you see for that?
You know, any upsets, I think it could be a struggle. It really could. We could come out starting slow. It's just like when you at the end of it, we're not going to match what we did against Syracuse. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
People are going to say like, oh, they could do the same thing they did Syracuse. That's not going to happen. Like we're going to probably end up starting like 14-0 in this game in the first quarter. It's got to be a slow type of game for us. It really depends. It depends on what we see. It depends on this team's traveling. I want to say this is the first time we're driving to California this year. It's first we're going this year to Stanford, which it does help us. The game's at 10:30 because I'm assuming we're probably gonna get in Friday.
Yeah.
So that gives us at least 24.
Freeman talked about though, like the challenges of this being a 10:30 kick because it's going to be so late. Like they haven't played a game this late in what? Like I feel like was it 23 that we played? 23, I think we played Stanford at night.
It was 8 o'clock kick for us. No, it was a 6 o'clock kick for them. So 9 o'clock kickoff for us. But yeah, it's not easy. Like it's not going to be the easiest thing. But out of all the things that can happen for us, it's better if this game's at 10:30 with going across the aisle and going all the way to California. It gives our players more. It's not like you. I think that realistically, he'd rather have a 10:30 game than like a 2 p.m. game, and let's start kickoff at noon.
Well, and if I remember the 2023 game, we started very slow in that one. I want to say we were down 14 to 3 at one point.
I don't remember, but I think we blew them out. We haven't played close at We haven't played close at Stanford since they had what's his name? Was it Bryce Love?
Tanner McKee was the last time they beat us.
Yeah, they had the running back. It was Bryce Love, wasn't it?
Mm-mm.
Oh wait, no, well, I'm thinking they beat us the 1 year Drew Pine, but at Stanford it might be different. Let me pull up the. It's 2021. We beat them. That was the end of the year. That was with Cohen. That was at Stanford.
So in 23 we played them at Stanford. I'm looking at the box score there.
We beat them 56-23.
We were down to Stanford.
We were down
16 to 7, and then we turned it on late.
We were down 16-14 in the second quarter, and then we scored back-to-back touchdowns. That's what it was.
Yeah.
I'm looking at right here. Yeah. So, like, it could maybe be a game like I could definitely see it being like a first quarter. It's a little closer. Like, I think if people are expecting this to come out there and be up 20-0 in the first quarter, then get ready.
Yeah, last year we beat them. Last year we beat them 49-7. So, yeah. Do we think this is a J Love game? Like, if you are you touching any J Love props?
Take him at 3+ touchdowns every week. You're getting great odds for the way he plays. I'm going to check that. What's his 2+ touchdowns might be minus 200 now. They were at plus 105 on Saturday.
Yeah, I feel like he have like he's got like a record going on right now for the most games with a rushing touchdown, right? Or a touchdown in general.
It might be touchdown in general.
Yeah.
It's basketball.
He's one away. He's I didn't know this. Did you know that Audric Estime holds the Notre Dame all-time record for the most rushing touchdowns in a season?
Mm-hmm.
You knew that?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I thought it was going to be like Autry Denson or Bettis or something
there's
like
that
that.
one season where we legit got down to like the 1 yard or like inside the 10, and we did not throw the football. We just ran with Estime. Jeremiah Love 3+ touchdowns at plus 190.
Oof.
That's fucking insane.
Yeah, throw some money on that. Real quick, if you want to go ahead and get these odds by our friends over at Novig, make sure you go over to Novig, download the app, and use code VOCFBND when you sign up. Make sure you guys are 21 years or older. And if you have a gambling problem, make sure you call 1-800-GAMBLER and seek help. All right, let's go and get to our final topic of the night. Oh, before we do, actually,
there is a question.
Score predictions, real quick.
For this game, 45 to probably 15.
You think we make a field goal? I don't know.
Well, dude, if you told me last week that we were going to start the game up 21-0 before our offense touched the field, I would have fucking said there's our chance to make a field goal. Shockingly, we did not miss a PAT that whole fucking game.
Yeah, well, Eric Schmidt doesn't miss PATs. He just
we went 10 for 10 on PATs. That's more impressive than us winning by 70.
I think Notre Dame wins 42-7. I think it's similar to what it was last year. I think Notre Dame's gonna. I think it's gonna be a slow burn, though. I think it's gonna be a slow type of blowout. I think you might see a 14-7 halftime score, but then Notre Dame just pulls away late to get to that 42. All right, let's go ahead and get to our question that we have here, and then we'll go on to our next topic. Frustrated Notre Dame fan 3736 asks, do we miss the playoffs if Bama and BYU win their conference?
Probably.
Yes. Yeah.
The big thing is I do want to look at, and are they going to tell Bama that they think Notre Dame's better than them, even with an Auburn win? And let's say BYU wins the conference, and then Bama loses the SEC championship. Do they move Bama? Do we stay above Alabama? That's my question. And I think that right now we're in an interesting world where they will say yes, because I think they doubt Alabama's ability to be a full, recognizable offense. They are a very one-dimensional offense. If they had a running game, they'd be the best team in the country, I think. But they do not. And it hurts their passing game to the point now where they are getting fucked.
Yeah, honestly, if you're Notre Dame this weekend, you're rooting for BYU to win, right? Honestly, actually, it wouldn't hurt if they did lose, because at this point they've already compared Notre Dame and Miami, so that kind of goes out the window. But you're rooting for Bama to lose to Auburn this weekend. I think if Bama loses to Auburn, they're done, right?
If Bama loses to Auburn, we make it no matter what. I think that's a fact.
But yeah, you're rooting for Bama to lose to Auburn. You're rooting for BYU to probably lose to UCF at home, which I just don't think that's not going to happen. And then what else? You need, this is another thing people aren't talking about. Michigan cannot beat Ohio State. Like, I still think if Michigan did, they should still be behind Notre Dame, but you don't want to play with it because that would be the best one in the country, and it would fuck up everything.
It fucked the Big Ten up a lot. It would, because
if Michigan wins, they would play for the Big Ten title.
Yeah. As of right now, it's what's looking like.
Yeah.
As of right now, that's what it's looking like. If Michigan, I forget what the outcome is. I don't know how they do it because there's confusion there in the USC game. But I think overall, they put them in because they have the higher win percentage against uncommon opponents.
Because Oregon, well, it'd be between Michigan and Oregon. So Oregon lost to Indiana. Michigan would have lost to USC, but Oregon beat USC.
But then you'll have a three-way tie because Ohio State lost. So you wouldn't do the first. Here, 1 second. I just pull it. Make the Big Ten championship. It was something like It had to do with like point differential of common win or similar wins. Let's see here.
Yeah,
Michigan still make the. It might be. Here. I can pull it up right here. Michigan defeats Ohio State. Purdue defeats Indiana. Oregon defeats Washington. Oh, so you need Purdue to be. It needs to be a 4-way tie across to get to the common point situation. Okay, never mind.
So then Oregon would be in over.
Oregon would still be in. Never mind. Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Or if Washington defeats Oregon, anyways. Yeah.
What do you think the committee would do in that situation if Michigan were to beat Ohio State this weekend?
Sucks. Start a shotgun. I don't think they want to be in that world because they've given, and I'm going to be honest here. I don't think Ohio State has a fucking shot of losing this game. I do not think Michigan's good enough.
I didn't think that.
I didn't think it last year, but I also now you're adding in the fact that Ryan Day's not probably thinking like that. Realistically, Ohio State, if they lose this game, the committee is going to not hear the end of it because they have been defending Ohio State with their really not that great a strength of schedule outside Texas. Because their strength of schedule this year kind of got fucked by Penn State not being good. So I think at that point there will be certain things that happen. I don't think that will happen though. It's really I do wonder, did All-State playoff predictor update yet?
Probably not.
As of November 23rd. Okay, yeah, it hasn't updated yet. I do wonder if we get to the 80% on the All-State playoff predictor. Yeah, right now Ohio State strength of schedule is 52nd in the nation. That's insane.
Yeah.
The number one team having a 52nd strength of schedule, that's crazy.
But people tell us
they have a similar strength of schedule as Cincinnati right now. I wanted to point that out.
But they tell us that if we played in a conference, our strength of schedule would be better. Our schedule would be harder. Yeah. Okay.
Like IU's is like a little. IU's is worse than ours. IU also has the Illinois game, which I think helps them, but they don't have anyone out of conference.